Hi everyone, this is Lauren with the Central Arkansas Library System. As you can see, today's program is going to be about some of the different options small businesses have for financial relief due to COVID. In this program, we're going to cover 5 options your small business has for financial relief. For reference through the rest of this program, the abbreviation SBA stands for the U.S. Small Business Administration. The information in this program comes directly from the Small Business Administration website, so if at any point you have any additional questions about the relief options listed or would like to apply to any of them, sba.gov is where you'll go to do that. In response to the pandemic, small business owners, including agricultural businesses and nonprofit organizations in all U.S. states, Washington, D.C., and territories can apply for an economic injury disaster loan. The EIDL program is designed to provide economic relief to businesses that are currently experiencing a temporary loss of revenue due to COVID-19. The terms for this loan is a 3.75 fixed rate for businesses, 2.75 for nonprofits, a 30-year maturity period, and there are no prepayment penalties if you can pay off the loan earlier than planned. I know this looks like a lot of text, but I'll do my best to break down each category. The EIDL is really meant to be a catch-all loan that most small businesses are eligible for. The money from the loan can be used for making up the gaps in working capital and business expenses such as rent, healthcare benefits, and utilities. There are some collateral requirements for loans over $25,000, but the Small Business Administration uses a security agreement for business assets such as collateral. What is chosen as collateral is evaluated on a case-by-case basis and can include things like furniture and machinery, but isn't limited to those items. This loan is currently not forgivable, and while that may change in the future, as of right now, there are no forgiveness options for it. Payments are structured like most loans, but during its deferral period of a year, interest still accrues at the rate mentioned in the previous slide based on your business type. You can make payments on it during the deferral period if you want to online or by mail, but it is not required. Lastly, the eligibility requirement for the loan is very broad, and basically any small business or qualified agricultural business with fewer than 500 employees can receive this. The Shuttered Venue Operators Grant, also known as the SPO Grant, offers emergency assistance for eligible venues and businesses that may have been affected by the pandemic. It is not limited to just small businesses, as anyone that meets the eligibility requirements can potentially receive it. Obviously, this grant is much more niche and selective for those who are eligible compared to the previous option, but it is still an important one to keep in mind because eligible applicants may qualify for SPO grants equal to 45% of their gross earned revenue, with the maximum amount available for a single grant award of $10 million. $2 billion is reserved for eligible applications with up to 50 full-time employees. If you feel like any part of your small business fits into the eligibility requirements listed in the slide, it's worth applying for. The biggest thing to mention about the SPO grant is that the SBA is currently working on setting up the grant program, so if your small business is eligible for the grant, know that it is not available yet and applications aren't currently being accepted. However, if your business is eligible and you'd like to eventually apply, there is a priority list that is as follows. The first priority for the grant is entities that suffered 90% or greater revenue loss between April 2020 through December 2020 due to the pandemic. The second priority group is entities that suffered 70% or greater revenue loss between the previously mentioned time period. The third priority is businesses that lost 25% or greater revenue between one quarter of 2019 and the corresponding quarter of 2020. The grant money may be used for specific business costs like payroll, rent, and administrative costs. The grant amount will vary based on your business revenue and is split into 2 categories. For businesses that were running on or before January 1st of 2019, you can receive an amount equal to 45% of your 2019 gross earned revenue. For businesses who began after January 1st of 2019, the grants will be equal to the average of your monthly gross earned revenue for each month you were in business in 2019 multiplied by 6. If you were selected for the grant, you must keep documentation in compliance with the requirements of the SPO grant program and must retain your employment records for 4 years after receiving the grant and all other business-related records for 3 years. For additional information, you can email svogrant@sba.gov. This loan is more of a follow-up loan for those who have already applied for the EIDL loan. If you plan on applying for or have already applied for the EIDL loan, this Express Bridge loan can grant you an extra loan of up to $25,000. These loans can provide vital economic support to small businesses to help overcome the temporary loss of revenue they are experiencing and can be a term loan or used to bridge the gap while applying for a direct EIDL loan. If your small business has an urgent need for cash while waiting for a decision and disbursement on an EIDL loan, you may qualify for an SBA Express Disaster Bridge loan. If you have already taken out loans for your business, you may be eligible for debt relief from the SBA. The next two slides will cover the information for each category of debt relief, but if you'd rather call a loan servicing center directly, the contacts in the slide are the best way to go about doing that according to the Small Business Administration. As a part of the CARES Act, the Small Business Administration is authorized to pay 6 months of principal, interest, and any associated fees that borrowers owe for all 7A, 504, and microloans reported in regular servicing status, excluding PPP loans. This debt relief to borrowers was originally dependent on the loan being fully disbursed prior to September 27th of 2020 and does not apply to loans made under the EIDL program. The Small Business Administration has notified lenders in this category that it will pay these borrower loan payments. Lenders are to report to the SBA periodically on the amounts due once a loan is fully disbursed. Payments collected after March 27th of 2020 may be applied to the outstanding loan balance or returned to the borrower at the borrower's discretion. The initiative described for this category of debt assistance are limited to the level of available funding provided by Congress. Please contact your lender or the contacts in the previous slide for questions on the availability of this assistance for your SBA loans. For current SBA disaster home and business loans, if your disaster loan was in regular servicing status on March 1st of 2020, the SBA is providing automatic deferments through March 31st of this year. What exactly does automatic deferral mean? Automatic deferral means that interest will continue to accrue on the loan. Monthly payment notices will continue to be mailed out, which will reflect that the loan is deferred and no payment is due. The deferment will not cancel any established pre-authorized debt or reoccurring payments on your loan. Borrowers that have established a pre-occurring debt through pay.gov or an online bill pay service are responsible for canceling these recurring payments. Borrowers preferring to continue making regular payments during the deferment period may continue to. The Small Business Administration will apply those payments normally as if there was no deferment. After this automatic deferment period, which is March 31st, borrowers will be required to resume making regular principal and interest payments. Borrowers that canceled recurring payments will need to reestablish the recurring payment system. If your small business needs additional funding, the Small Business Administration has compiled a searchable list of recovery financing from other organizations that is available on their website. They are a great resource for anyone who currently owns a small business or is looking to start one. As always, we at CALS thank you for watching this program, and if you have any questions, you can feel free to contact me at the email listed on the slide, and I will do my best to direct you to somebody at the SBA.